Let me mute the old phone here.
Oh, yeah. Let's set our phasers
So are we
to
rolling?
stun, ladies and gentlemen.
We are rolling.
Oh, sorry for you audiophiles out there.
Well, let's start with an intro, shall we? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Loudcast. Coming at you live for people who are sitting in this room, recording for everybody else.
Not live.
Am, not so live.
Coming at you live.
That's Dougie Dilf.
Dude, straight up had a fucking like a little like dude. I think I don't want to throw out names actually, but it was a video someone was taking of a show. It was playing in Whitewater, and we were just going down like the line of people in it, and this guy like leans in. He's like, "Coming at you live." I literally had a fucking toaster at that show plugged into my Furman power conditioner that we just found in the van.
Was this the toast one?
Yeah.
You wiped the sweat off of yourself and some guy fucking ate it?
I wiped the sweat off my brow with a piece of bread, put it in the toaster, and then frisbeed it out into the audience, and somebody fucking caught it and ate it.
That's metal, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Disgusting.
Whitewater for you.
Metal.
Fucking college town.
You got some Whitewater stories.
A lot of bright young ones
Right?
out there.
Me?
Yeah, Sean, do you have some Whitewater stories?
I didn't go to Whitewater.
No, I meant but you partied out there a couple times, didn't you?
No, I partied in Platteville once.
Oh,
That was a
same
weird
thing.
night. We just found we were like coming back from a show that was playing at this college, and it was like a Wednesday night, and we're all hopped up with no place to go because who the fuck did we know in Platteville?
Hopped up on Zing Zooties and
Yeah,
Wang Wongs.
on Zanger juice and fucking barbecued pigtails, and we decided we needed to find some place to party. So we found a house playing really loud music. We had like a case of beer and a bottle, and we knocked on the door and we said, "Hey, we promise we're cool. Can we come in and party with you guys?"
We're cool, bro.
And the guy was like, "Don't steal anything." And he opened the door to us. Inside were 25 girls and then the two guys who owned this house. So I don't know if they were like shooting a porn or what, but there was a really interesting vibe to that party.
Did you hear that guy's story at Mad Planet the other night about the Chicago bar? It's like a BDSM bar. You can get like handcuffed to the railings and the like waitresses and shit like whip you.
Would you like to know more?
I do, but I like only caught the tail end of his story, and it seemed like he'd been going with it for a while, so I didn't want to be the guy
we'll
that just
be in
jumped.
Chicago next week.
You wanna-
so
You want to hit the tunes?
Old Bessie's still
Oh,
tuning up here.
she's still tuning up.
She's having some trouble. I asked a little too much of her.
Sean wasn't with us for this, but for the audience, we went to Samurai Champloo. Or,
You mean I wasn't with
Cowboy,
you for
no,
that?
not for this part of the story.
Oh, okay. But
He was at the venue, but-
I was at the event.
We went to Cowboy Bebop
This was
versus
good.
Samurai Champloo last weekend at Mad Planet. And
Can you
we're-
describe the event before you just really
Yeah,
dig
it
into
was like a little orchestra. There was like I think it was like a 4-piece sax, then with like a brass section, jazz drummer, a celloist, and they played music from Cowboy Bebop in one set, and then they did a little intermission and had a second set full of Samurai Champloo tunes.
It was not just a DJ. I thought it was just going to be a DJ, just
that's
like,
what I
oh,
thought it
here's
was
some
gonna be.
music from. It was a full band. It was actually really cool.
No,
So-
Brittany presented it as live, but that's fine. It was a good time.
But I mean, DJs say they're live too, so
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
So walking up to the event, and even before that, the car ride over, we were just kind of joking. It was like, oh man, we're totally going to see some like fedora wearing, like katana wielding neckbeards at
Anime
this show.
fans, yeah.
And we didn't even get inside. We're still crossing the street to the block that the venue's on.
Yeah.
And this fucking dude is like approaching the group of people
They
in
just
front of
bought-
us, and there's two girls, and he pulls one of these, like rotates the wrist and gives an open palm and curtsies. And I just
Doug just looks at
just
me.
turned around, did the same thing to him, and I was like, we already found one, boys.
Oh, in the wild.
I was a little pissed too. I was just like, God damn it! Like we're not even inside. We're like 2 blocks from this fucking place.
Way
Right,
to
and
stare
you're
at
already
people
out.
who watch
What's it
anime,
gonna be
though.
like when we get inside?
A lot of trench coats.
They're like what? I didn't. I
Master
guess
Raiden was there too.
I mean, we kind of hung out off to the side playing pool. And,
Yeah, well, that was the kind of vibe I was getting. Like, I watched them play Tank, and like they started playing, just like the bebop soundtrack,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it put me in the mood to do. Is just like go
Oh,
play
no, I
some
think
pool with some randos.
I think we had a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, we played pool with randos.
Terribly.
We got beat by everybody who walked onto the table, but then they'd beat us, then leave, and then somebody new would walk up and beat us and leave. And we were just like the shitty locals.
Right.
Me and M got so close to winning though.
Yeah, against Preppy
posh
couple. Yeah, you guys
Sports
were
desk.
talking about.
We're all pink on the inside.
Couldn't focus with the power skirt and the woo, because that's what she was doing. Like, the whole time.
Yeah,
She was
pencil skirt. I do remember now. Because she like showed up because like dude was hanging out by us before, and then his girl showed up.
I just remember the dude's name was Carl.
I didn't
Apparently,
take it.
Carl, if you're out
apparently
there.
you don't remember.
Salute.
Carl, if you're out there. It was a good game.
This one's to you, buddy.
Yeah, but Rocky George was gonna do a hardcore album with Heinemann. It's gonna be called Pap Smear.
Classy.
But Slayer's manager at the time told Heinemann, "You can't do that. You'll break up the band." It's the kind of thing that breaks up bands. I think they released one album. I don't have access to it. It's probably really good though.
You break up the band, man. It's Slayer. Come on. It's just a money machine.
They just print money.
They were like just getting started though. Yeah, there's Rocky George right there on the
Oh.
left. Dude's awesome. Looks like Easy E kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Dude's a really good guitarist, so. Check
All I
out.
wanted was a
you check-
Pepsi.
you che-
Just
yeah.
one Pepsi.
Check out this-
Oh, you're looking lovely.
Yeah, check this album out. Lights, Camera, Revolution. If you get a chance. Some good guitar stuff on
Yeah, I
there.
need some new shit to check out. I was checking out some of MF Doom's best of. Like, I've never really gone that deep.
That
into
guy
his-
is nothing but deep.
I know, but
Oh yeah, though.
like what I've been jamming to him a lot lately is the Food album.
Because that's like everyone's starter, right? I think that's almost everyone's starting point.
Is it?
What? Food?
Food. That's like a lot of people's starting point.
Yeah,
right?
it really is. It's just most accessible because he does a lot of concept albums where he gets really weird and deep, and that's one of the most, I think.
My favorite cut off of that one is Hoe Cakes.
Hoe Cakes is by far, although I know Stefan's favorite is Rap Snitch Knitches.
Yeah, that one's good too.
That's
I
like
that
my
whole
favorite
album,
cruising
though.
song.
Yeah, Hoe Cakes, super.
Is this too loud?
That
I know this
track is
chick, she
fire.
really wants me to duka.
I told her I'll come scoop around 8. She'd be like, super.
Is this too loud?
No, that's good. Keep it at 75 and I can adjust the...
Shorty girl's
Okay,
a
'cause
trooper.
it seems
Whatever I
pretty
needed
loud
to
to me.
do, she'd be like, super.
Yeah, turn it up to 75 and I'll...
I think everything's at
That's good. If it's too loud for you, then turn yours down on 9 and 10. 9 and 10.
There we go.
All right. So, did you guys see the story this week about the discovery of a new organ?
No. I had a story for you guys though too.
What, like in our bodies?
Yes, in our bodies, and it's like
It's the funky organ?
they say it's larger than skin. It's like a layer where there's like this fluid, essentially. It like stores fluid, and it's like pre-lymph nodes. What is it called?
So what did the tattoos all over my body damage it?
Yeah, I actually read that it's the layer where the tattoo pigment resides, essentially.
Is that why they're so addictive? Whatever.
Yeah, one of the reasons that it's called the interstitium. It's a layer of fluid-filled compartments strung together in a web of collagen and a flexible protein called elastin. And apparently they couldn't see it before because they were studying it in like tissue.
They were looking at it all wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
They were looking
idiot
at it when it was
scientists.
dead.
Anybody could have told you got to look in the cellulose layer.
But apparently they couldn't see it before because when they were studying the tissue was essentially dehydrated, so the structure would collapse.
Americans weren't fat enough until just recently that this is swollen enough to be visible by modern scientists.
Right.
It's like after a supernova happens, it takes 100 years.
Could you get a little bit more inflamed for science, please? Let's see how far we can push this.
My doctor has actually prescribed me McDonald's.
I was gonna say, I thought you said he prescribed you hemorrhoid cream for your whole body.
Yes, I'm one giant flaming irritated asshole.
You're an irritation.
I use hemorrhoid cream for chapstick because my mouth is a fucking irritated, inflamed butthole.
So, I had a news story too.
Can I expound on hemorrhoid cream for a second? I got a little
Doug.
story.
Let's get a hemorrhoid cream.
I think you
story.
might have told this one already.
Not on the podcast though, but this has to do with the girl that we all know. But, it was back in the high school days. We were playing just in the cul-de-sac. We decided to play tackle frisbee, whatever the fuck that is.
Like ultimate, like no holds barred frisbee.
It was literally just ruleless garbage where we just like it was spearing each other and doing that stuff. But I was trying to catch the frisbee. I wasn't looking where I was going, and I ran into a tree and just scraped all the flesh off of my arm.
Ooh.
So I went in the house, and this was like a house where essentially just like all these kids ran amok. Everybody hung out there. And one of the girls was like, "Oh, let me help dress your wounds." So she comes back with what I assume is
Neosporin.
What I assume is a what I assume is a tube of Neosporin. And after she rubs it into my wounds, after a couple minutes, it just starts to burn. And I'm like, "What did you put on my cuts?" And she's like, "Oh, Neosporin." I was like, "Could you go get the tube?" She brings it. It's preparation H.
Woo! Oh. It didn't help your inflamed arm? That's not how that works, you mean?
Right. That's not how that works.
Medicine isn't just interchangeable fix-its?
Like, that's not even how it works on your butthole. Like,
right? This is not Fallout 5 where you can just take those pills or apply that bandage to your fucking toxic gut.
Let's go get me some Jet.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what was the news story that you had there?
It's about a Miami IHOP manager who pile drived one of his rowdy customers. And you're talking about human bodies, and there was video of it. So a group of customers came in. I think it was like 5 or 6 different customers, and they were asked to quiet down, in which their response was to get slightly more loud, and he asked them to leave, which they did. Then they came back inside, started getting loud and rowdy again. Then it devolved into him telling them they had to leave or he was going to call the police. Then they started throwing plates and silverware across the IHOP at him, throwing chairs and stuff. Well, then they physically started attacking him with their fists and stuff, and he defended himself, got one of these kids in a grab, flipped him, and then pile drived him into the floor.
Oh my god.
Don't fuck with IHOP. You get eye dropped.
Cheers to that guy.
I think he handled himself pretty well. Yeah.
That would just suck to be working for not much more than minimum wage and just have some people act so stupid at your place of work.
Ladies and gentlemen,
can we just not?
This is IHOP, not fucking Waffle House at 2 a.m., okay? We got standards here.
The difference is not that big.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of what I was commenting on. Oh, yeah, seriously, I've, seen more shit just go down at fucking, restaurants and eateries, essentially, more than, bars. When we were just at that place getting hoagies, essentially, this fucking dude just comes out of nowhere and bops some guy just getting a sandwich. He's just kind of waiting for his food. He goes outside, smokes a cigarette.
When was this?
Oh, it was a while ago. This fucking I don't know if you were there, but it was like the Flash came out of nowhere. It was like zoop, poof, and then this guy was just like, ugh.
I
And
remember
then the other guy who bopped him was just gone.
I had something similar to that happen to me once. I was walking down Brady Street in Milwaukee, and we were getting dogs or something, and it was me and somebody else were walking down the street, and there's like two Indian guys kind of like leaving this restaurant, and they're kind of talking, and somebody walks up and he just bop, hits the first guy, drops him, turns to the second guy, bop, hits him, drops him, and then walks away. And me and like dude are, like we got hands full of
I
hot
might have
dog.
been there for that.
Yeah, I was with somebody. I don't remember who it was. but
Because
we
I
just-
remember us both. I remember like looking at each other and just being like, "Did that just happen?"
Yeah,
Two
dude,
guys
like
just
maybe
got
it
dropped.
was you. And it was like, because it didn't even seem like this person knew those two people.
Yeah, they were just like walking
was-
past each other.
It was just a drive-by bopping.
Dude,
Yeah,
for real.
but they both got knocked the fuck out.
Bop it!
And we're like sitting there with like hands full of food or something, I think. Because I was definitely in a position where it's just like, oh, that was random violence. I was not ready, and I can't really deal with that right now because my hands are full
Sir,
of hot
I
dogs.
protest. I am not a merry man.
I'm not a... I was just trying to eat a hot dog, man.
Maybe he was a Klingon.
Yeah, probably was, dude. Just needed to assert his dominance that night.
Just a hormonal Klingon.
He probably just didn't get laid, and he was really upset.
At least he took it out on some dudes.
There's always a lot going on, and
I mean, I don't know if that's a really healthy way to take it out, though.
there's always a lot going
breaking
on on
somebody's
Brady
face.
Street. So
Hey, you want to
Yeah,
pass me a
that's-
soda pop?
That's just a place to avoid.
I remember going out with the pine cone on New Year's, and we threw that dude out of the bar. Dude
Oh
lost a tooth.
my god!
This guy.
that
Okay,
was-
we're all sitting at Nomad. Oh, great bar, by the way. They used to have shot of JMO, PBR, and
a cigarette.
a single cigarette.
Was that the place that got a bunch of shit during the World Cup for like decorating the back of their place, like a Faliva?
I don't think.
No,
so.
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, maybe.
But it's like a Nomads. It's like a world bar, isn't it? Isn't that their shtick, or is that another place?
No, I think I do know which the place you're talking about. No, Nomad's more just like a little dive bar.
But we're sitting there drinking, and there's like a slightly more rowdy customer. I mean, this is like the beginning
7
of the
p.m.
night.
7 p.m. Like New Year's has just started. People are just filtering out to the bars.
And this guy at some point reaches across the bar and slaps the bartender. And so the bartender just casually walks around the back of the bar.
No, he slapped the chick bartender, and then one of the other bouncers, or like one of the other like male bartenders.
Slaps a chick? I don't
Yeah,
remember the
'cause-
dude. Oh, well, one of the
'cause, like, there was
bartenders
a
casually
chick.
walks around the back, just arm bars this dude and takes him to the ground. And then he's like struggling and kicking, and I just look at the bartender, I grab this dude's legs, and we just 1, 2, 3, and we throw him out the front door.
Just ham hock heave ho him.
Well, he's okay. He's forehead on the bar, drunk at like 7 p.m. And he's like a regular here, so he's like way too comfortable and just acting reckless. And when the guy comes over to like grab him, and he immediately gets hostile. Don't fucking touch me. It's like you can't strike a bartender and then ask for another drink. You gotta go. And-
It should literally be punishable, like striking a bus driver.
No, for real. It's like they're helping you. They're giving you that sweet sucker, or they're taking your broke, carless ass somewhere. And this guy, so yeah, they bring him down, and like it's like wrestling, because he's like drunk and fighting back, and like 3 dudes pile on him. They throw him out, and Jake just goes, "Is that a fucking tooth?" And sure enough, dude, right there on the ground,
He goes, he
one of
grabs that
dude's-
fucking thing, and he's just like, "It's a fucking tooth!"
So they like put it up on the bar, like over behind the bar as a trophy. And, like everyone's kind of just like all fucking worked up about this situation. Dude tries coming back in. He ends up calling the cops. He's like sitting there, bloody mouth and shit out
Where's my
front.
fucking tooth?
It's like they took my tooth. Go in there and get it back. So he essentially calls the cops on himself, because the bar's just like, we told him to leave. He was drunk. He attacked a bartender. What do you want us? You know what I'm saying? Like the cops basically like, go home or we'll arrest you. And he's just
They
like,
just let him
I want
go.
your
What?
badge number. I want your badge number. I used to be a cop. I want your badge number because you're not handling this right. Where's your
is that what he said?
Where's your sergeant? And then over the course of 3 hours, the police end up installing cameras in Nomads just to. I don't even know why they bothered to do that, but yeah, fuck that guy.
It's like I'm just gonna go out, have a beer, not start any shit. 2 beers later.
Boom. 1 tooth later. 2 beers more and 1 tooth less later.
Oh. Speaking of body parts as trophies,
Uh-oh.
fucking
Doug cut off somebody's ear this weekend.
no. This is like was totally grody the first time I saw it. My friend Sam, you guys probably met him like once or twice.
Yes, the same.
But he had a friend who was working on his bike chain. I don't know if it was like a motorcycle or just a bike.
Okay.
And he ended up inadvertently getting his fingertips ran through the sprocket and cut off. So, they take him to the hospital and all this stuff, and Sam like salvages his like fingertips so maybe they can like put it back on or something.
Yeah.
And it's just not really that much, but they couldn't or whatever, and I think it was just like too little. So Sam had them in a jar for the guy, and they ended up just like sitting there. So to this day, he still has like
decaying fingers.
No,
in
they're
his
not
jar?
decayed. They're like mummified now. They're like crouton fingertips. They
Oh
can
my
go no
God.
further. And what he'll do is like somebody who's new to the social group will be like, "Oh, go get the thing. See if they can tell what they are." And then he'll hand him this little like jar, and you'll be like, "Guess what this is?" And they'll just be like,
Pickles?
are those fingertips? Like you literally, it's like a really thin slice, but you can see like the nail.
Oh,
It is fucking disgusting, but hilarious.
Grimy. I have I think we still have them. I have my lung tumors in a jar somewhere. I did at one point. Because the pictures are pretty gnarly. Yeah, they're pretty. It looks like bubble gum when you blow a bunch of holes. Like you blow a bubble, and then like it has all those little tumor holes. It's like fucking bubblegum bubbles.
Oh, it's like the parts where like the strand is like still strong.
yeah,
and
it's like
ballooned out.
and it's like a lumpy fucking like there's amorphous.
Please, kill me.
Dude, for real though. Get a collapsed lung, you'll be saying that. How about you, Emily? Ever had anything gnarly happen to your body other than me? Savage. Like, have you ever had your fingertips cut off, or like people go in your chest cavity and rip out chunks of your lung? No? Sorry, we'll find something for you to come in here and talk about.
Oh man, I remember like waking up from my leg surgery just being like on cloud 9 essentially. Like it was just like and I was just getting like wheeled to the post-surgery room, and like literally the nurse is just like sitting at this hub in the middle like talking to the other nurse about some sort of beer, and I was just like, "Oh, I know what beer you're talking about.
Love it.
But it came out like that, and they just like ignored me. I was like, I give up.
I just wanted to interact before I died. See, I had a terrible experience, at least the first time coming out of like major surgery. I had a very bad reaction to the morphine, and I spent a lot of time throwing up, basically on like a 6-hour cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Just fucking wake up, puke. It'd force some more jello down my throat. I'd fall asleep. I'd wake up. I'd puke the jello up. It was great. You know, I loved it. Loved it all.
Want some gelatinous
I was literally like, bring it on. Give me the drugs. And then it got to the point where it was like, oh man, I know what this is. I haven't been able to piss, and I'm just like, I'm literally on my phone, like looking, like I was like, okay, nurse, could
Did
you
you have a catheter in after surgery?
Well, I did after surgery, but they took it out. Like I wasn't conscious for that. But so the nurse comes in, and I'm like, nurse, could you run the water so I can like maybe pee? And she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And it went for a while, and I was like, oh, I feel bad just like wasting water like this. So I ever turn it off, and she's like, well, if you can't pee, we're gonna have to put a
Put a
catheter
catheter
in.
right
And
back
I'm just
in.
like, oh, fuck.
Oh,
No. So I'm like, I gotta piss. Like, I gotta make this happen. So called off the drugs when they offered it, and I was like, no, I gotta get my pee sphincter to loosen up just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm literally on my phone on YouTube looking up videos of the faucet
Water?
running.
Oh.
Literally on my phone looking.
I just need running water.
Waterfalls.
And eventually that did the trick.
Yeah, I had one time I couldn't because I had similar things where like you get him to take it out as soon as possible if you're still awake with it because I went down a couple times. So, like sometimes I woke up and it was still there. And you talk him to take it out, and then you have to force yourself to pee again like a normal human being, and it's just like it's so just like nope.
The guy,
I haven't had to experience that, luckily.
bless his soul, like literally I called him up the day I was getting discharged from the hospital, and I was like, hey, could you maybe come over and look after me for a day, because I'm supposed to have somebody around to make sure I don't get a blood clot and die. And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like he just literally dropped his shit, came over and spent the day with me. And I was telling him the thing about the catheter, and he was like, he'd been through some stuff. And he was recounting the story where he had a catheter in, and the nurse wasn't sure if the bladder on the inside that keeps it inside you was still inflated or not, because it was stuck.
No.
So he was just kind of tugging on it, and it wasn't coming out. So
And
she
he's just like, this is my worst nightmare.
she kind of did the thing you do to a kid when their first tooth is coming out.
Oh,
She was just
boy.
distracted and was like, yoink it. It was like,
Oh.
and it came out.
No.
Oh man, yeah, do that to your kids, but not a man's pecker. Oh, man,
my god. I'm very
Oh,
upset right
boy.
now. I need a moment.
Oh boy.
Don't laugh at me. I'm sensitive. I want to talk about something that we avoid talking about.
what's that?
Did you say vaginas, Emily? Doug on the ones and twos. And that's
She is gonna be so pissed when she fucking finds out if we've been doing that.
I don't think she will.
Well, she's still gonna be like, what the fuck? Now she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about, and investigate.
So I was looking into I hopped on the YouTube where we're dropping the podcasts, and I was searching to get on to the RadioLOUD account that we use for it, and I did a quick search, thinking I could just pull the video up off of a pretty keyed in search.
It's actually under RadioLOUD Cast because RadioLOUD was taken.
Yes.
What's RadioLOUD?
There, in fact, are quite a few Radio Louds that exist across multiple platforms doing multiple things, none of which are active or taken off, but it was fun picking through the graveyard of our own name.
Right.
But I would like to point out that before I found us using our exact name, I did find a Logan Paul plugin video. So we are literally below the featured spam.
Man.
Even if you search our
you
name.
can't outdo Logan Paul though. He's just gonna be on everything. Logan Paul's just plugging every single hashtag and thing we can possibly think of, probably, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we should basically just change our name to the Logan Paul Podcast.
And just never talk about him after this.
The Pogan Lol.
The Pogan Law.
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Oh man, can we never mention that guy's name again?
Exactly.
And that's the thing. I know we
Don't
didn't
feed the beast.
I mean, you can't feed the troll. You gotta let it die of starvation.
Yep.
I actually hadn't heard anything about the Paul brothers in a minute.
No, and that's the thing. But at the same time, I was searching for it, and it was like, oh, we're done with this Logan Paul guy. He showed a dead body on YouTube, but you should check out his new video.
Buy
Well,
his crap too.
they took him off the list of monetization, and then for a little bit, they gave him a little,
For a little
Yeah, they
bit.
give him a
and then
slap
they
on
put
the
him
wrist.
back.
He's just too hot of a commodity for those young kids.
Yeah. I actually had a conversation with a coworker who is a little bit older than me, and he has 2 kids, and his son is starting to like get to the age where like he'll, he goes on YouTube Kids, and we were discussing how he is starting to like he's already gone beyond like Pandora's box with it, essentially.
Yeah, he's been to the weird parts of YouTube.
And not necessarily the weird parts that we delve into, but like...
Can you just see that?
I don't know, like, man. You've searched... You don't know the right words to look for.
He doesn't want to watch YouTube Kids anymore, which is like the curated content for YouTube, where they've tried to like kind of section off a little bit for kids to watch. You can let your kids watch it. They'll be safe.
Yeah. But he wants big boy YouTube.
He's starting to like watch content that's made by other kids, and it's like other kids saying bratty little things on YouTube.
Oh, watch your little brother say fuck.
Yeah. It's exactly where my mind jumped with that. Just like, my parents won't give me an allowance, so here's how I'm going to retaliate.
Don't you understand that your actions have consequences?
And I can just see this young father just like, the fuck.
What have I done? Raising a child in today's world would be scary.
So I was kind of like talking to him about the medium because I was talking about how like the whole like adpocalypse thing essentially happened on YouTube, where they started cracking down on content creators that advertisers didn't want to associate with.
Yeah.
And demonetizing them. And there's this thing that kind of like it's like this really creepy thing where there were like videos that were obviously targeted with keywords towards children, but it was like weird shit like fucking like that's where like the Spider-Man and Elsa thing came from, where they're like slapping ass and stuff. But then there were like cartoons where it was like Disney kids cartoon characters pissing on each other. And like this obvious like fetish content, but it was all like kids keywords.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat that one more time?
Like Disney cartoon princesses pissing on each other.
And who made this?
I don't know.
Which princesses?
They don't know. They think it's like I want to see for science.
I mean, yeah, just for research.
Would you like to know more?
But it was like this obvious like thing to like get kids to see it almost in order to like
bring up a new generation of
piss fetishes.
Of golden shower lovers.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that
R. Kelly strikes again.
That shit is
I
out
could
there.
be behind it.
And you have to like protect your kids from it, but yet again, you don't want the platform to devolve into this thing where it's like, oh, this is all for kids. We got to protect the kids on it. It's like a platform that has a lot of adult content on it.
That's a lot of times how censorship starts.
Right.
Is protect the kids.
Think
Have
of
you
the
heard?
children.
I think it's still great.
Think of the children.
It comes up every now and then when a new school district does it. But some righteous mother will say, I don't want my son or daughter, my little precious child, to have to read To Kill a Mockingbird. Oh, God. Because of the naughty language. And it's like, are the people who want to censor like 1984 and stuff? It's like you're making a point.
Did you
here.
even read the book though?
Right? Do you understand that you are making the point of the book
And
wanting
you
to
know what's
censor
sad
it?
is it always comes up once a year, and guess what? It's always a school that ends up banning it because they just don't.
And then
want
they
to deal
just
with the
do
parents.
it anyway. And then because it's better safe than sorry because lawsuits are expensive and
Yeah.
land of the free, home of the lawsuit.
Yeah, true that. Like we were talking last weekend on like a more sensitive topic, like you have to, if you're going to enter a lawsuit, you really have to be prepared to absorb the countersuit and make sure that your lawyer files on behalf of you and gets through like the preliminary stuff before it goes to trial, because if they fuck that up, the countersuit can still be active. And your suit can be nullified. And guess what? The lawsuit you started is now against you.
Whatever happened with I was gonna say, do schools really countersuit that much? I don't really hear much about that. But something that, because we were talking about YouTubers, whatever happened with H3H? Their
Oh,
little
they
lawsuit.
won their lawsuit.
But did they get the countersuit started too?
I don't
all
think
the
they
time
did.
lost?
I don't know if they did. I didn't follow it that far, but they
I
actually
know it wrapped up and they won.
they did a good thing for content creators in general, where they kind of established a precedent for fair use when you are taking somebody else's content and commenting over it.
Yeah, I heard they started they laid the precedent down. I think they even had like a fund they had started to help other people out. But I think they ate most of it because they were not expecting
more
it to cost that
lawsuits,
much.
though.
Right.
Because especially on YouTube, they're still taking things down that are in fair use. I was just reading an article about it today that Universal was taking down like commentary of like a Tremors video or something.
Well, this video
they
in
coming
question,
after us?
the H3H3 suit, the H3H3 suit was essentially a guy who was like pissed that they made fun of him.
Video.
Yeah.
They essentially made fun of him, and he was like, "Ugh, I don't like that."
So we tried to sue them, and they stuck it out. I think it ended up eating most of the money that people had donated towards them, basically, because they were like, we're gonna beat this at first. Obviously when you start a lawsuit, you have a lot of steam. Like, we're gonna beat this. We're gonna have this fund to help other content creators who are like being wrongly accused. That's how I remember it getting started. And then a year ago?
Well, it was kind of like
kind of wrapped up.
Somebody else opened up a GoFundMe for them because they didn't. Like, they've done that for other people, but somebody else set it up for them in that case. And they fortunately had a platform to kind of get people to rally behind them.
Yeah.
Where the other guy didn't at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, it was just a reaction video.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I did watch the content because I thought it was interesting, because that's what's going to happen a lot now, and we discussed this quite
Let's
frequently.
go sue somebody.
Yeah, there's a lot of let's go sue somebody, and it's just
Let's get our name in the paper.
there's a lot
guys.
of precedent that is trying to be set with the internet, because it's been the Wild West for so long.
Oh, here we go.
Right.
All right, groundbreaking ideas. Let's look at our name in the papers. Let's sue the internet.
You're a fucking idiot, Sean.
We'll sue him for having my ideas before I
You're
did.
gonna sue Al Gore?
We'll sue Al Gore and the internet and
gonna
those
sell-
fucking polar
You're gonna
bears.
sue Bell Laboratories?
I'm gonna sue the panda bears who are too lazy to fuck. I'm gonna sue the polar bears who keep getting trapped on fucking.
Why don't you just write a song about it?
Why don't you
and
throw the
call it
rhino that is about to go extinct?
Already did.
Okay.
The last male died. They're done. Unless women really do find a way how to live without us, they're fucked. Good luck, Emily. What would you do without Dick? Shrivel up and die!
It's like that dude from
You
Indiana
wish.
Jones in The Last Crusade.
Yeah. Gonna melt.
She chose poorly. She chose the wrong dick. And then
chose
she
the-
withered away into dust.
That's what'll happen if you touch anybody else's dick. You'll die.
Which Indiana Jones is that?
The one with
Last
the
Crusade.
dicks.
I thought the chick in that one just falls down the endless crevasse.
No, I was talking about the dude who drinks from the wrong cup.
Oh, yeah. He
looking
chose
for the
poorly,
grail,
but
yeah.
I got you now. Yeah, I got you.
The crevasse.
Because that beautiful
La
woman,
crevasse.
that beautiful Aryan Nazi woman falls down the crevasse.
Yeah, she was kind of a babe. Too bad she was a fucking Nazi.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, even Indiana Jones had trouble letting that go.
So I got this idea from Reddit, but I think I'm going to bring it into my RPG Wednesdays group. It's a Guy Fieri NPC. A boss inspired by the king of Flavortown. Complete with a lair full of food and chef and sous chef and line
You just
cook
making fucking
lackeys.
Onion Knight
I mean, yeah,
from fucking
essentially.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, but he's more of
Except
a,
he's gonna be like Flavor Town.
no, he's more of a bard because his skills come from his odd spicy like charisma that he has. You know what I'm saying? Because he's one of those like he's just so excited about it, you want to like him.
Apparently, he did not choose to dress like that.
Yeah, I watched that little interview. That was hilarious.
He fucking apparently like wore some button-up shirt to whatever the person who was representing him for like the audition, and they were like, wear a button-up shirt. So he fucking wears a bowling shirt.
Yeah, he didn't have like a nice dress shirt.
Yeah.
And they just loved it.
And they were like, oh, that's how you dress, huh? That's cool. We like that. And then he shows up to wardrobe, and it's just tons of these fucking shirts. And he's like, well, I guess I'm stuck with this.
It's like,
Cool.
I guess I can no longer wear t-shirts.
That was in Hot Ones,
Yeah,
right?
it was in Hot Ones. It was in Hot
That
Ones.
was the interview I was telling you about where he's talking shit the whole time about the wings. He's just like, would you
that's
fucking go
funny.
down like a block and get him from that pizza and wing place? Because
Right.
these suck.
Dude,
Hot
Hot
sauce
Ones
is pretty good, but these wings suck.
Hot Ones is money though. I like that show.
Sean Evans was talking about the logistics of getting the wings and how like it's almost inevitable that they're going to be cold just because of the format of the interview. It takes them about an hour to get through all of them, and like a lot of times there's like delays, so they like bring in the celebrity guest at a certain time, so they prepare the wings and have them ready at that time, and then they're late, and then
Here's
they
my
get
question.
cold.
I think was it Rachel Ray had one too, and she was talking shit about the wings too.
Dude, okay, she contradicts herself in that fucking episode. She's like, I'm a chef, baby. We'll eat anything, but I refuse to eat your shit wings, essentially. She's literally licking the hot sauce off a spoon. I'm just like, you pretentious little
Well, my
bitch.
question though is, okay, wings. I've been to Wingstop.
I haven't.
It doesn't take that long to make fresh
alright.
wings. Do they not just have a little kitchen station
Dude,
there?
it was a very low-budget operation. Like,
I know, but like at this point, could they not set
I
up
mean,
a
couldn't
little
you-
chef station?
Sometimes
and just cook
Couldn't
up
you
wings?
also put it on something else other than just hot wings?
no, you can't alienate the format.
Yeah.
How dare you? How
Go
dare
sit in
you
the corner,
suggest
Stefan.
otherwise?
I don't give a fuck about the format. I don't even watch that shit.
Says the guy who brought up the topic
No, I didn't.
about the
He
episode.
did. I was just saying that it was on Hot Ones. Because I had seen that one. Because I was like, oh, Guy Fieri, that guy's an idiot. I want to watch him be dumb.
Dude, for the amount of shit he gets,
He
like,
was pretty cool.
He seems like a pretty nice guy.
He's a cool guy.
Oh yeah, I think that's kind of what I was saying. Is like I feel like he does have a charisma. Like you'd want to go get a beer with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of
Just
course,
to
he's
hear
a
the stories.
personality. He's a celebrity personality. Of course, he has some sort of charisma.
Just like Guy Fieri. Tell me, who's the craziest person you've done cocaine with? Because I feel like there's-
cocaine. I only go to Flavor Town.
I feel like
Shaquille O'Neal.
that's what it would be. It would be a name you'd just never expect. Just like oh, Martha Stewart. Like I feel like she gets down. Like her and Snoop Dogg have
Right.
a little like a little romance,
Ever
a little
since
star-crossed lovers thing going on.
Ever since I saw Snoop Dogg on her show where he was like literally like promoting some sort of vodka, he had his name on and he was like literally dumping it in the dish. Like there was a little bit that was supposed to go and he's like, I'm gonna put some more of this in here.
And that's why you don't trust Snoop Dogg to cook, because he'll make your chicken taste like vodka.
He just dumps Martha Stewart's bottle of sherry, cooking sherry into the pan.
He's just
like, is this
swigging
oil?
it. He makes a mixer out of it. Like that's cooking sherry.
Snoop Dogg's Gulag Grill.
Gulag Grill. Yeah.
I bet Snoop
Everything's
Dogg's
vodka
got
flavored.
some cooking chops.
We got drunken mashed potatoes. We got vodka chicken, vodka goat. I feel like that's the gulag right there.
Do you guys like goat cheese?
I don't really eat it.
I don't think I've tried it recently enough to
I
really
just can't
say.
get down on it.
There's enough cow cheese out there where I'm pretty happy
Yeah,
with
I just
my
can't
choices.
get down on goat cheese. It always has this. It's the goat aftertaste. It literally tastes like their scent. Like
Tastes like goat smells.
What's a goat smell like?
crap. So it tastes like crap.
Feces, Doug.
And it's just interesting to me that a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I use goat cheese with this and XYZ. I made this recipe, or it'll especially be on some of the cooking shows I watch.
I actually just keep a chunk of goat in my fridge and I just grate it over my food. I cut out the middleman and I just grate up some real good goat flakes.
Where's the almond cheese?
Almonds don't have nipples, Doug. How do you
You
milk
mean the
them?
almond titty? But there's
Can
almond
you
milk. Why can't we
cultivate-
make almond cheese?
I don't think it cultivates in the same
Yeah,
manner.
it doesn't. What's that? Ferment, basically. It's rot the same way.
Because I mean, cheese is mold, right?
essentially,
We got the technology.
we can make.
Give it a couple years.
Okay, we'll give almonds.
Give it a couple
breasts.
years. Those
We'll milk
vegans
the-
will be able to enjoy almond cheese.
I propose by the end of this decade, We create almond cheese.
Humans will travel.
Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. All right, let's take a break.
Thank God.
All right, Sean, you want to do the intro roll for suggestion box this week? Was this episode 4?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Episode.
Who's
2
counting
official.
anyway? Who's really counting?
Episode 2 on release.
Well, I don't know. The first 2 were good enough. We might, just
Yeah, I'll put them out later.
Release it retroactively. All right.
So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our viewer favorite episode, The Suggestion Box, where we get drunk and write things down throughout the week and then try and remember why they were funny. So we'll see if we were clever this week or if we were, shitty. So
I got one. It's not super clever.
Do you want to pass me a rock pop before you bust out?
Sure.
Somebody?
Okay, so you guys know how there's like SNL casts and they always go on and they do movies, whatever, yada yada.
Yeah. The alumni, if you will.
Yeah, I want to have our generations is Will Ferrell and probably Adam Sandler, right? Any objections really to that statement?
I'd say they were 2 different eras. Like,
Yeah, Adam Sandler was.
Adam
a little
Sandler was
before
like
us.
Generation X's, and then
But you get where
Will
I'm going
Ferrell
with
was like
this.
the millennials.
You get where I'm going with this. So it would be a movie with all the previous washed up ones about just going into the grinder of comedy movies. So it would be like Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, or were the 2 that I thought of going in and making a movie about just being stuck in the comedic grinder of just being turned to ground beef.
That's one of my least favorite movie ideas is movies about the movies. Because it's just like so unrelatable to the common man, you know? When you're watching it's like, oh, this is all the bullshit you gotta do when you're rich and famous and you're gonna be in a movie. Oh, woe is me.
It would be in their same shitty comedic sense, but I understand where you're coming from. Definitely.
They did kind of do something like that with the like some SNL alumni, like the more recent one, like Will Forte and
Like Bill Hader and shit.
yeah, I don't think Bill Hader was in it, but that body of actors,
Of cast.
they did a bunch of recent SNL alumni, and they told the story of the reformation or the initial formation of National Lampoon. So it was like everybody after they had done their like SNL tenure and now they're SNL alumni, just like inserted into the primordial state again to tell like a historical piece almost. The guy's name from National Lampoon is actually Doug Kennedy.
Yeah, do you relate to him?
Another Doug, huh?
Yep, another Doug.
Don't trust him.
It's alleged they don't know if he killed himself or if he was just super high and fell off a cliff.
Oh.
Like he
a
was
little bit
kind
of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah,
maybe.
they don't know. Like a lot of people, like Chevy Chase was one of his best friends, and
Yeah.
he like just says to this day, it's like I don't see him as the type of person who would kill himself, but a lot of people saw him as this like.
But those are
depressed
sometimes
archetype.
those are sometimes the people that really do it though. Is you're just like I had no idea. Turns out he was super depressed.
Sean, you got one?
Well, that was a downer.
why don't-
That was a downer note.
Yeah, why don't you go first while I pull it up?
Oh man.
I just wanted to make a funny movie.
Oh, Sean, you're gonna love this one.
All right.
Okay. Okay. This is in ancient Rome, and they're holding
You already got him in.
an engineering, architecture, and design summit / competition for funding called Arch Madness.
And you'd get to pick, and there'd be seeds for designs. Like, oh, Archimedes this year is gonna be fire.
They just got the bracket and they're all gambling on
Dude,
it.
exactly, dude. It'd be like the fucking Cinderella story. Some like nobody, like, oh, he's one of Aristotle's failed pupils from Syracuse.
And then they get to the end and they're like, boo! Aqueducts? I don't want aqueducts!
You're gonna make my water use 6 times more efficient? Pass.
He'll be a dude.
We wanted a new arena. Fuck the Coliseum. It's dilapidated.
Hippodromes. I want races around the outside of the city. Chariot races on the city walls. Give me that.
Like on it, like the perimeter wall.
Yeah. They actually had that in a city, I think.
Sounds action-packed. Bring the kids. Free balloons.
Balloons.
It's actually
I
just like
watched,
goat scrotums
So neither of you
filled
guys,
with helium.
neither of you guys are familiar with Asterix, the like French comic.
No, nope. Can't
Okay, it's
say
a
I
comic
am.
strip. It's about 2 Gaelic warriors and they fight Romans. But there was a movie that came out recently, and one of the clips that I'd seen from it was a kid. He's like playing with 2 action figures and they're like killing each other. And they zoom out and the father's like, "Where does he get this from?" And they're in the Roman Coliseum watching like a gladiator impale another
just
guy and just
kill
like
somebody
fucking
else.
run him through and just slam him in the ground. Asterix is pretty good. You'd probably like it.
Yeah, I might. It sounds interesting.
They're funny comics.
I had a funny thought here. I'm trying to remember the exact way in which I thought it, but it was
That's why you got to write down the context.
I missed some of the context, but it was music genre curse words. The idea being that there are different slams and digs for each different genre. So maybe in like jazz, calling someone a jive turkey is a curse word, but it doesn't really translate to like metal.
Right, then you go to like that tribe and they're essentially like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, and so I guess I probably should have written down, I think this was a drunk falling asleep thought, after I was laid off on Wednesday. But I had some good metal ones that were all just like
I got a good metal one. How about just an old geezer would be a slam daddy?
a slam daddy. I'm gonna start calling you that, Doug.
Slam daddy dilf.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Slam Daddy Dilfs on Friday.
What a bear.
Hey Emily.
Emily is just making this face.
Hey Emily, you wanna go over to Slam Daddy Dilfs? Crack a couple roadie sodies and end up at Slam Daddy Dilfs.
Welcome to the slam, boys.
Welcome to the slam.
Come on and jam.
Come on and jam. Oh, that's right. We hooked her.
If you want to slam.
Oh, while we're on the music ideas, I had an idea. Steppenwolf Magic Carpet Ride is actually about lesbian sex.
Wait, what?
Hey,
You know?
I can see that.
It's like, "Aren't you gonna leave a little girl on the magic carpet ride?"
Here.
Yeah. Sean's an uncultured swine, so he doesn't
Here.
know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I wouldn't know culture. If
I was
it
actually
threw
think-
up on
Just
my
give
lap
him a
when it was
give him
trying
a
to suck
second.
my
We'll give a
dick.
little clip for people who are uncultured swine also.
I looked at the lyrics, and it's totally not about this at all. I thought, like, did I miss something all these years?
Nope.
But we could redo it as.
Oh.
Yeah, you know this song.
Of course I do. Everybody in America knows this song. Feel fine. Why don't you come with me,
See,
little
come
girl?
girl, carpet ride. You got all
it.
the.
You got all the ingredients for the cake, but you made a biscuit instead.
I was actually gonna make it done
He's
by
close,
like
he tried.
a joke band called Steffenham.
Wouldn't it be Weffenstolf?
Weaponstal.
Am I the lead man?
Well, it would no. It was
It
a
would be.
tribute. It was a tip
Okay,
of the
I'm okay
hat
with
to
that.
Steffen.
Weffenstolf with Weffenstubber.
I want to do the band thing at least once. Just once.
Oh no, I remember about the music thing now, because it
Oh,
was
the-
like
the slangs.
ska insults that I thought of. It was like ways to like call it just like, oh you dirty mouthpiece. Just like a fucking lead singer, you'd be like a fucking dirty trumpet mouthpiece.
I got nothing.
Sorry, we don't have to dwell.
I'm just like I'm trying to think of something
There's a
dirty
joke
with a
in there.
spit valve.
Oh yeah.
Just like
you
the
leaky
fucking
valve. You dripping. You drip tip.
that the one of the good things that didn't make it to air on one of our first. It was literally our first test bed episode. We were talking about the Marines from StarCraft and about how it's just built into the suits that they have sex with them.
Oh yeah. So
And
they
then
can have sex with them.
they
on.
clear out their ejaculate like a fucking spit valve on a trombone.
Oh, I feel like it just fills up like a Go-Gurt. Like a little Go-Gurt package, and they just like throw it away. It's like a ketchup packet.
They repurpose it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I'm sure you saw that. Yeah, in fact, like
How
we
do
were
I get out
talking
of
about
this chicken
earlier,
shit outfit?
people can make now yogurt out of their vagina juice, or you can make yogurt into your vagina or something. I forget the details.
Well, remember we read the article about the drones that dissolved into sugar, so
Yep.
they were like made for surveillance, and then we were talking about sex bots and how
They're gonna
you'll have
interchange.
sex with them, dissolve them, and put them in your coffee the next morning.
Yep, you'll fuck them. They'll just dissolve into a pile of glucose. Add them to your coffee. Drink the evidence.
Is that technically like a snowball situation?
It's at the very least a cream pie.
The future is now.
The future is now. Go fuck yourself, and then drink
the
it.
evidence.
And then drink the evidence.
So, this one is an idea called the ladder, and it's the ascending list of things that are not real. So it's like the ladder ascending to enlightenment, essentially. So, first thing you find out it's not real: Santa Claus, not real. Jesus Christ, not real.
Whoa! Pump the brakes.
Christopher-
Buzz
You
that
say
out.
Jesus?
Christopher Columbus.
You see Jesus
not real.
isn't real?
In the spirit of Easter. Did you say
let me-
Christopher
just
Columbus
let me
isn't
get-
real?
That's what I'm going with. Like, you get to like elementary school and they're like, actually, Christopher Columbus was kind of a douchebag, and you're like, okay. Then next you're gonna find out Rockefeller isn't real. Then Steve Jobs.
Wait, Jay-Z's record label is fake?
Then your favorite actor. Then your neighbor. Then you.
Matthew McConaughey.
And by
just
that
disappear.
chance, yeah, you've ascended to
Illuminati.
enlightenment, essentially.
So what you're saying
I
is
am not real. This plane of existence is
You
fake.
just fade away and
Stefan's
you just
fake,
Jedi
I'm
die
fake.
and you're just a pile of clothes on your couch.
I've become one with the Force.
I'm a
I know
little
what is
disturbed
I
by
know
that.
what is real and what is not, and then you just fade away.
Yeah, this one started with a card that was just like a
kinda
bit
dark.
too much. It was in quotes. You know, Christopher Columbus was a real piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you definitely don't learn about that until middle school, high school, if you don't do research on your own, right? Because in elementary school, they're just like, "Oh yeah, Christopher Columbus Day,
Columbus
he's
Day."
so great," and you're just like,
Yeah. And
then you
down
get to
the
like
line,
high
you feel
school
like,
history.
Actually, he's a real piece of shit.
Well, I mean, it might have changed now because I don't think it really came out until we were in maybe middle school, high school that the Vikings discovered North America, and I'm sure that was a turbulent time for the
I'm sure it was out
indigenous
there.
peoples and Vikings.
Yeah, I think Vikings did a lot more like Greenland, where there wasn't really populated, so they.
I mean, they
just
were
set
on
up
mainland
fishing
Canada
villages.
too, though.
Yeah, but a lot of that was just them setting up like fishing villages that didn't
Yeah.
really hold on because
It's Canada.
because it's not that
You
great.
mean rape and pillage pit stops?
Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, not to ever paint what the
I mean, really,
Vikings
for
were
them at that
into
time,
with
they were
the-
like pirate bases. Like,
Yeah,
no one knows
basically.
where this shit is.
yeah,
We're
it's
safe
just-
here,
It's
except
like a little
the Inuits and whatever.
Yeah, it's a little minor farming / pirate base that
'Cause it-
didn't last.
Because Canada still had indigenous Indian.
Could you imagine that? Just
Or
like the
indigenous
ships,
tribes.
ships going from island
Yeah,
to
of
island,
course.
and there's
Yeah.
like literally like
So I'm
the
sure they had
equivalent of like a
skirmishes.
Texaco sign on one of them.
Well,
where the
yeah,
Vikings can come to.
Oh, that would be a fun sitcom. A fucking Viking pit stop.
Viking truckers.
Oh my god, dude, high sea truckers. And it would be just like
I can
fucking
just see
Billy
the
Bob
opening
the
scene
Viking
now.
is just like in there with his long ship, just got a fat shoe in. Like we'd have to really just make
just
much
barreling
effort.
through the
some
waves.
fermented shark.
some fermented shark. And yeah, I'd be just getting drunk on shark.
Give me some fermented shark, or I'll gut you like a trout.
Or I'll gut you like a shark and ferment you.
And then the lady behind the counter is like, "Oh, don't worry about him. He just needs something to chew on."
Oh,
She
his
gives him
blood
just-
sugar is low.
She just gives him a piece of like jerky gristle. It's like not even meat, and she's just like,
Yeah, it's just
He
like
pays
salted
in,
fat.
He just pays in like scalps or something.
Yeah,
Monk scalps.
Right, he
So they're
pays
just
in
bald.
trinkets. He pays in chunks of like golden crosses from abbeys and
Yeah.
stuff. He's still spattered with blood.
Couple.
Oh,
heads.
that'll be two artifacts of our Lord Jesus Christ, because we'll be Christians in a couple hundred years.
What a shame.
the first guy to
What
come
a
back. He's
fucking
like,
shame.
"I come back from the British Isles with Christianity," and they're like,
What's that?
"It's like, well, there's one God." Was like, "What?
And he's
Heretic!"
and he's an Arab.
I was gone at sea for 20 years and I come back to this.
Actually, that kind of segues into this next idea. This one's for Stefan. This one's for Stefan to kind of shit on me. This one is a follow-up to my last week's idea, real stories. This one's called Real Conspiracies. Fish gets caught and released. None of the other fish believe his tales.
Of the outside
And they
rope.
just think he is a psycho. And he's like, "No, I swear to God, it's real. I saw it." And he becomes
I got a hole in my lip. I didn't do this to myself.
It's like a
I didn't
SpongeBob
probe my own
episode.
lip.
He becomes a conspiracy theory nut, the Alex Jones of fish.
But Alex Jones, we were just. I'm glad you made this a bit. It's a little long. But we were actually just talking about that today.
I thought this could be like an intro section to when we get on like conspiracy theory topics because it fades out.
But we were just talking about Alex Jones today at work, and you know he doesn't buy into that whole like reptilian man thing. So he just likes making up his
Heretic.
own. He just likes making up his
That's
own.
exactly what a reptile man would say.
Right?
Yeah. So he's a reptile.
All these
man.
other conspiracies are true except for this one.
The guy that believes in the reptile stuff. Oh, what was the name that they were talking about at work? I'm just gonna butcher this. Something Hins or something? Dick Hins or something?
Dick Hands?
Yeah, Dick Hands.
Dick Hands.
You know what I noticed
Believes in
when
the
I was
Dick
uh,
Hans.
Can't remember. the
when I
guy's
was
name.
grabbing the Biker Mice from Mars soundbite? I noticed on the intro the bad guy. He's like this fat Chicago mob boss kingpin kind of
Is he a
type.
cat though?
No, they grab his human face and pull it off, and underneath he's like a reptilian fishman.
That's perfect.
Right? Maybe they were just punking us from the time we were kids. With
Day
that
one.
shit.
Day one, they knew it. They were just
Day one, lizard men. Everybody will hate
They
him.
were subconsciously getting us ready to accept our new overlords.
Fucking biker mice people of Chicago. It's gonna be the new lizard people of New York Facebook page. I accidentally
Huh?
punched this out for a second there.
What? You're Jewish? Liar. We're going to church
Anybody?
on Sunday.
Anybody else got one?
Got
What's
one?
up? A beer?
No.
A card?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
All
I
right.
had more shitty sports things
So
where
we-
it's just like changing sports instruments. So
We'll throw one out there. Let's hear it. Last time
time
it
I
was
did golf.
Baseball.
yeah, I did golf with a
baseball.
baseball bat. I just think hitting other objects with baseball bats is like
Just
in
makes
other
it
sport- like-
harder.
yeah, like hockey with baseball bats. It just wouldn't work.
They just kill each other.
Oh, going off of Star Wars on Ice, the Darth Vader guy in a fucking neck brace because he fell down. All the fucking stormtroopers would just be hockey goons.
They just check people.
They just have the
that's what it would be.
stormtrooper helmet and fucking hocky jerseys for
that'd
the
be
Empire.
Sweet.
home
With
team.
sweet Empire hockey jerseys?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
They
a
actually did,
merchandising opportunity.
They actually did a
Storm-
Star Wars crossover, so they have Stormtrooper hockey jerseys already.
Oh, that's slick.
Need me one of those.
All right, so in honor of Easter, here's my MMO pitch. It's a game where
Jesus, the
everybody
game.
designs a profit. And other than that, it works basically like a mage focused MMO. Everyone's out there doing their like fucking WoW thing. But if you die, You don't respond for 3 days. Go outside and get some fresh air, you fucking idiot. Oh, you died. You must be bad at this game. Go outside and ride a bike.
I have a really short and simple one. It's Congressional Thunderdome.
I love it. I love everything about it. I don't even need it explained to me.
This reminds me of an idea I've had for a while.
Reminds me of Idiocracy.
And it's that once you leave office, you're executed.
Or just you have to take the long walk like in Judge Dredd.
Dude,
Once you were like
go
retired,
across-
you had to go into the cursed earth and bring the law to the lawless. But it was essentially an
love that.
execution.
That's 100%. I think that if we made some more high stakes politicians,
You know what would be fucked up though? You'd go out into the desert and you just find these weird communities. You just find the weirdest.
That's exactly
communities,
what
yeah.
happened. You fucking stumbled
But
upon
they'd all
a-
be run by like old congressmen. It'd be so weird.
Fucking
They'd be
Bernie
like little
Sanders
cults.
would be out there in like his bondage gear and he's like, oh, tried to give them the power to the people.
Bernie Sanders
But they
in a
hung me
le-
out to dry.
in a leather harness.
God, dude.
His fucking sagging skin.
I love everything about this.
And then in the new society, the new Congress is like they elect their ideas through the traditional channels, but then they elect 2 representatives to fight it out to the death in the Thunderdome. And whoever
And that's how pro wrestlers
And
really
that's
get
how
into
The Rock
office.
gets
Yeah.
elected finally.
That's
We
how
give him a
idiocracy
fucking
comes to
bastard
fruition.
sword and just have him execute Newt Gingrich. And that is what I feel like that's the next step in American politics. We are one step away from literally Fox airing lions
literally
eating Christians.
American gladiators.
Dude, 100%. It will be lions eating Christians on national
What's
TV.
the president in Idiocracy? Macho Kamach.
Chief Kamach? Or Pharaoh Kamach?
Have you guys watched Idiocracy?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I have enough idiocracy in my day-to-day life.
Oh my god, you guys would love this movie. I'm gonna play a little clip for the soundbite. But Terry Crews becomes the president of the United States, and he's a pro wrestler, and they water all their plants with Gatorade, and they can't figure out why plants don't grow.
That sounds actually phenomenal. I could take Terry Crews as my
Yeah,
president.
President Camacho. This his intro,
He has
State of the
this, like,
Union.
such like a calm side to him.
Like, that's the thing, too. He's got so much positivity.
Get to your
going on.
soundbite so we're not listening to like 2 minutes of that stuff.
Okay, here.
Oh my god, that is
Oh my
so
God.
American.
Is that Luke Wilson?
Yeah, he's the main character. He gets frozen, and then he gets defrozen in the future.
Oh, so
It's a
he's
fry
a fish
thing.
out of water?
yeah, your favorite movie trope.
It's on the
With all that
teleprompter.
starving bullshit and the dust storms and we running out of french fries and burrito coverings. Yeah. But I got a solution.
That's what you said
Welcome
last
to the
time,
future,
dipshit.
where every restaurant is Taco Bell.
South Carolina, what's up?
Yeah, devolves into madness. You guys gotta check this out. President Camacho, Terry Crews, Idiocracy.
I have another one that you guys might like. This one is just entitled Dungeon Disco. Typical disco dance floor where usually would be like a bunch of like cubes that are light up and like
Oh, yeah,
multicolored,
yeah.
replaced with tiles that trigger booby traps.
Ooh. See, this is, oh my god, this just gave me an idea for a Dungeons and Dragons segment. I make them go to a dance-off. Last dancer standing are the winners.
Let me just steal that real quick.
Thanks.
That's literally what just happened. Let me just
Ooh,
steal that
I
real
like that.
quick.
That's
That was
juicy.
the intention of that. That was my extent of that one.
I am going to put them on a dance floor where they have to dance. And they're going to be triggering booby
Yeah,
traps
they just don't know which
that are
tile
going to be
is-
just
is the one.
murdering the fucking competitors.
Yeah, somebody will step on one and somebody else will get hit.
Dude, a giant axe will swing through. They'll jump out of the way, and the person dancing behind them is just going to get cut in twain. It'll be beautiful. It's a really good idea. Between that and the Guy Fieri, oh my god, D&D is going to crack.
Yeah,
this
he's the
week.
bartender.
Dude, well, that's what. Oh, it'll be great. Like if you insult the
tries to
bartender,
bounce
you'll
you
have
out.
you'll have a mini boss of Guy Fieri.
You might lose a tooth.
This could be at a club outside of a big world event, because this is another one I have. It's just called Monster Trucks. Truck cabs literally on the backs of various literal mythical monsters.
Oh my god, that's fucking phenomenal. It'd be like monster wagons. And you just tie a fucking like cab to the back of like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Like you could open it up and like the dirt arena with motocross style chariots going off of like fucking jumps.
Oh my
and
god,
shit.
that'd be wicked.
And
We're
then
gonna
you
watch
bring out-
Apollo jump 3 trees.
You bring out fucking what's the
yeah, fucking.
what's the bad guy from Stranger Things?
Oh, the spooky.
No, not the spooky, but like the big bad guy from the
From season 2? The
season 1.
Oh, the Demigorgon.
Yeah, the
Demigorgons?
Demigorgonsaurus.
It's not what demigorgons are. They're
Yeah,
fucking
demigorgons are
they're
yeah.
baboons. They're double-headed baboon monsters.
Basically, though. In the original, but they couldn't steal the copyright. Yeah.
But yeah, it bugs me a little bit. But I still love Stranger Things. But a real demigorgon is a 2-headed baboon demon. And they have the butts.
They're like not even that good either. There's way scarier shit in there.
Yeah, but they're funny looking.
We kind of already did the on ice thing, but I had hardcore dancers on ice.
I'd love
Watch
that.
them
That'd be really
fall.
cool though.
Someone
'cause
doing a
there'd be-
spin kick and just
Yeah.
slicing someone's throat.
Woo! No, see, I would give them without skates and watch them hardcore
Just
dance
slip on the ice.
and just fall a lot. Just falling on elbows and shit too. That'd be so unpleasant.
You know how to. We gotta set up a way that I can edit clips. You know, like view clips myself.
Yeah, we've talked about that a couple times. You want to preview stuff?
So you
All right,
get the ones.
this is an expansion on Doug's Canadian cinematic universe.
It's because Doug
Is it
has
another
a whole
fish out of water
cinematic-
movie?
No.
living
This
There's
one,
only one thing I like, and it's fish out of water.
This one has to do with like the deep lore of it. So you remember when Chad Kroeger and Avril Lavigne were together?
Yeah, I
If you
think
s-
they still are together.
So,
What a
well,
weird
maybe they are.
couple.
So I was gonna say if they weren't,
super couple.
if they weren't, this was
Kroger.
this would be still true in my like universe where the guy goes through time and space and has his like views flipped on him for the liberal lumberjacks. So Chad Kroeger and Avril Lavigne have a child, and he is the Canadian Antichrist. He is a mildly rude boy.
Quick question for Emily: is Avril Lavigne still married to Chad Kroeger? Okay, so
Were they ever married? I thought they were just like fucking
Yeah,
around.
I'll Google it. I imagine they had an Elvis Presley shotgun wedding. Because everyone should get an Elvis Presley shotgun wedding.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like the Canadian Antichrist is basically just like a New Yorker.
Yeah, he's just like
He
really
just-
impolite.
He's busy. He's got somewhere to be. He's not happy with his bagel, and and Canada just doesn't know what to do. Like
Yeah,
he's
they
on the
split.
news. Like he becomes like an issue in their government.
They split, guys. After 2 years, they split.
Just going on a fucking
Are you telling me
rampage
that
from
Chad
Tim Hortons
Kroeger
to
is
Tim
single?
Hortons.
Oh yeah, that he goes on basically.
They
It's not
still
even
have
like a
a-
shooting rampage.
They still
It'd
have a
just be-
freakishly close relationship, though, according to news outlet.
Freakishly close.
Mail.
I've never been that close to a freak until today.
Avril Lavigne reveals close bond with a strange husband, Chad Kroeger. Canadian darling couple.
Oh, he's a strange husband.
Have you seen the guy?
What's he into some weird
Can you tell me you're
stuff?
surprised? Have you fucking seen the guy?
Well, not with a chin strap like that.
That's all he ever rocks. Chad Kroeger.
Chad Kroeger.
Chad Kroeger. There's actually a bunch of pictures. Yeah, there's my boy Chad.
Nice forehead.
I remember Jake, he was over here and I had a Playboy that had an interview with Chad Kroeger in it, and he just like
Vomited on
he
himself.
just fucking he just graffitied his face with a bunch of whiteout and wrote I eat boners on his bed.
I remember that actually. Look at this great picture. Oh man.
He
Send that to-
just ejaculated in between.
Send
the
that to the
pages of
pine
Chad
cone.
and
Look at
stuck
those
them
alien
together.
fingers. Jeez.
Send that to the pine cone. I'll tell you what those alien fingers aren't good at, playing guitar.
Woo!
Zing, 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 ding, ding. Shots fired.
Yeah, are you gonna play him for a golden fiddle?
Whip pan. Rocat.
Rocats.
Play him for a golden fiddle? What does he even play? What's
Put
his
your
guitar
money where
choice?
your mouth is.
What's Chad Kroger's guitar choice?
Look, I've sealed this one with a kiss, guys.
Woo!
Jesus Christ, what is this? It's wrapped around a card.
Anyone need a rock pop?
Yeah, boy.
These are actually not that skunky.